Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing a little bit of meal prepping tonight. I am going to be making ham, potatoes, and vegetables, which are still in the freezer. Yes, I used frozen vegetables just because they are a little bit cheaper. 100 grams of ham is 3 points on Weight Watchers. These little potatoes were 6 for 3 points, and these larger mini potatoes were 4 for 3 points, I believe, on Weight Watchers. But as of today, they have changed their program, so now potatoes are 0 points. So right now, with the potatoes, the ham, and the vegetables that I will be adding, which are broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, my meal will be coming to 3 points only on Weight Watchers. My potatoes, I'm going to cook in my Instapot. First, get them nice and soft and boiled for about 5 minutes in there, and then I will be taking them and putting them in my air fryer. After I've squished them down, I'm doing smashed potatoes and a little bit of Mrs. Dash seasoning and a few of these other ones that I'm going to toss on too. My meat I'm just going to be doing in my frying pan. I like it nice and golden brown on both sides. And then I will be placing them into my meal prep containers. I will get back to you when things have started to roll. Okay guys, so I have my potatoes portioned out here. The larger ones are 4 potatoes. They were scanning in at 2 points, but they are now free. The smaller ones are 6 potatoes. They were scanning in at 3 points, but again, they are now free. I have one little bundle here that has 5, but this one is extremely tiny, so I'm just not even counting it. And then I will be putting them in the Instapot with a little bit of water. I have it just up to the top of my finger here to cook them. I have my ham nice and sliced real thin, except for this piece because it was getting too small. And I think I've changed my mind. I am not going to do the air fry on the potatoes like I thought I was to do smashed potatoes. I'm going to do mashed potatoes instead because it has been a very long time since I've had mashed potatoes, and I can show you my trick for making potatoes go a little bit farther when you're meal prepping for weight loss. Don't worry about this random brown banana in the back. I have a couple more in the freezer that I'm going to be pulling out, and I'm going to be doing a meal prep with those for muffins. On another date, which is probably going to be tomorrow when I have a little bit more time. Okay guys, so I have my potatoes in the Instapot cooking. I have them on for 6 minutes once it gets started, just because I'm not going to be putting them in the air fryer, so I want them to be fully cooked. Some potatoes were a little bit bigger than others. I mean, not by much because they were mini potatoes, but I did end up cutting those in half to get them to cook evenly. I have my ham in the frying pan. As you can tell, it started to cook. A lot of people will add honey or maple syrup or something like that to their ham to add extra flavoring, even pineapple. You are more than welcome to do so. I like to keep my ham plain, especially when I'm on Weight Watchers, because any additional seasonings or honey or syrup, anything like that, can add points. And right now I'm going for a low point meal of just 3 points for the ham, no points for the potatoes, and no points for the vegetables. So I am just going to check on my ham now. This is also a pre-cooked ham, so I don't have to cook it all the way through. I just like my meat a little bit brown, and I'm also a little paranoid about cooking meat, so I do tend to overcook it. So half of my ham is cooked and just cooling in this meal prep container. I have 5 of them ready because I am cooking 5 servings worth of food. I also have my weight scale out. My ham is over here cooking away the rest of it, and my potatoes have finished in the Instapot. They are just releasing steam and cooling off a little bit so I can open the lid. What I am going to do now is take one of my meal prep containers, place it on my scale, turn it on, and let it zero itself out. And then I am going to take one of the pieces of ham, Yes, I'm using my fingers. This is just for me, so it doesn't really matter, and my hands are clean. Plop it in the meal prep container, and it comes out to 61 grams. So now I am going to have to cut a piece off one of these pieces of ham to make it up to 100 grams so that I have the even 100 gram 3-point serving. Okay, my ham is at 100 grams, and that gives you about 1 1/4 pieces, which is pretty good portion if you ask me. So I will be adding about that much to each meal prep container as soon as the rest of the ham is finished cooking, and I will come back to you when I am placing the potatoes and vegetables in. So my potatoes have done cooking, and I have my ham all portioned into the meal prep containers with 100 grams each. In the microwave, I have a bag of frozen cauliflower defrosting just so I can mix it into my mashed potatoes, as well as some cottage cheese, fat-free of course, sitting over here. I'm going to be adding a cup of the fat-free cottage cheese and the entire bag, I'm not sure exactly the size, of frozen cauliflower to my potatoes. That is going to be my mashed potatoes. With the amount of potatoes mixed with the cauliflower and the cottage cheese, I might end up having more than 5 portions, but I can always do something with the leftovers. I have added my cottage cheese and my rice cauliflower to the Instapot. The rice cauliflower is not cooked all the way through. It was just enough to break it up to get it out of the package. It doesn't have to be, because I am going to be microwaving it when I go to heat up my meal prep anyway, so it's okay that it's not cooked all the way through. It will finish cooking when I microwave it. Now the trick to the smoothest mashed potatoes I find is using a electric hand mixer to get them nice and smooth. With the rice cauliflower, it doesn't break up completely, so you will have some chunks. I don't necessarily care about that, but if you do have textural issues, that could be something to think about. With the cottage cheese added in there, you shouldn't need any milk or butter. I never put that in because they're just added points on Weight Watchers, and I find they taste just fine without it. But of course, I am going to be seasoning with a lot of pepper and a lot of salt. I love pepper. I like things spicy, so I will be putting quite a bit in there. But I'll also remember that this is worth 5 or more servings. I will go a little lighter on the salt, but I am still adding a nice amount in there. And you just blend. I have blended up my potatoes. As you can see, they are not nice and smooth because of that rice cauliflower. I think it was even worse because parts of them were still frozen, so it didn't blend up completely smooth. I wasn't intending it to, because I've done this before and I know that it's left chunks, just usually not quite this many, but I'm not that picky, so I don't really care about that. Now I will be adding this mixture into a large mixing bowl that I've zeroed out on my scale and weighing out the total amount that this comes to, dividing it by 5, and seeing how much one portion will equal. Again, if that is too much, or I feel like it is too much, I will not put that much in there, and I will save the rest for another day. I have my potatoes in the bowl on the scale, and it's coming out to 990. I will now divide 990 by 5 to find out how many portions, how much a portion will be worth. How I do that is, hey Boo Boo, can you check on your magic phone and let me know how much 999 is divided by 5?
$9.90
divided by 5.
divided by 5, $198.
So 198 grams of this is one serving. I will scoop that into one of these containers, see how much that is, and if it is too much, I will not serve that much. I will probably end up dividing it by 6, maybe even 7, and keeping the leftovers for another time. Okay, so this keeps wavering between 198 and 199, so I'm going to say that's as close as I'm going to be able to get it. That is a portion. I think that's a pretty good size. I am a hungry person and I do like my food. So that is the portion I'm going to go with. Because there is cauliflower in here, I'm not going to add as many vegetables as I was going to do in the beginning of this, and I think I might just add corn instead. So I'll have mashed potatoes, corn, and ham. That sounds like a pretty good meal to me. But yeah, so that is one portion, and I will divvy it up between the other 4 containers. I drained a can of corn just into the same bowl that I put the potatoes in to weigh them out. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of salt because I do like salt on my corn. Oh, that's a lot. And then I'm going to give that a stir. Get them all evenly coated. Sorry guys, it's really hard to film and do stuff at the same time. I do have a phone stand coming in, but it won't be here for another couple days. So after that is in, I will be able to show you a little bit more of what I'm doing step by step instead of cutting back and forth once things are already done. But I have a 1/4 cup measuring spoon, measuring cup here, and I am just going to go 1/4 cup by 1/4 cup, adding them into each of the 5 containers. And if there's any left over, I'll evenly divide that between the 5 as well. There was a little bit more than a 1/4 cup worth of corn for each meal prep, but this is how they turned out. I think they look absolutely delicious. They will be better once they're heated up for my lunches, but I'm pretty excited to be eating this for the next 5 days. I will say I don't always eat these for lunch, so sometimes I'll take these for lunch, sometimes I'll have them for supper. On the very odd occasion, I will have them for both if I need to, if I don't have anything else prepped, if it's been a lazy day or a weekend and I don't have any meal prepping done ahead of time for anything more. But yeah, this is my 5-day or 5-meal meal prep of ham, mashed potatoes, and cauliflower, and some corn. Thank you guys for watching, and have yourself a great day. I almost forgot that this whole serving does work out to 3 points. 3 for the ham alone. The corn is 0. The potatoes now, because Weight Watchers has switched, are 0 points, especially with the cauliflower and no fat cottage cheese. So this whole lunch or supper will come out to only 3 points.